Urologist reveals how to drink water to avoid getting up at night. Here's a crucial insight that often eludes many healthcare professionals, a detail rarely disclosed by most doctors. The common advice to drink more water during the day might inadvertently be exacerbating your nocturnal bathroom visits, a condition medically known as nocturia. The precise timing of your hydration, rather than just the total volume, holds the key to whether your fluid intake supports or severely disrupts your sleep. In fact, an ill-timed hydration strategy could be inflicting more damage on your precious sleep quality than any other habit embedded in your daily routine. I am Dr. Richard Ben, a practicing urologist with a quarter-century of dedicated experience, having spent over 24 years diagnosing and treating a wide spectrum of bladder dysfunctions, confronting the challenges of nocturia, and addressing other age-related urinary conditions that significantly impact quality of life. Over these years, I've had the privilege of working with thousands of patients, both men and women, the vast majority of whom were over the age of 60. They often arrived in my clinic utterly exhausted, profoundly frustrated, and firmly convinced that they were grappling with a severe, intractable bladder disease. The startling truth, which often brings a sense of both relief and revelation, is that for most of them, the root cause was far simpler than they imagined. They simply had not been taught how to drink water correctly, in harmony with their body's natural rhythms. In a previous video, which resonated deeply and struck a nerve with countless viewers, I meticulously detailed the 5 insidious warning signs indicating that your gut might be leaking harmful toxins directly into your bloodstream. That discussion unveiled a widespread concern, touching upon a vital aspect of systemic health. Today, we are going to delve even deeper into another fundamental, yet often overlooked aspect of health that profoundly impacts not just your sleep, but also the health of your heart, the efficiency of your kidneys, and indeed, your overall quality of life, night after relentless night. This isn't merely about convenience, it's about systemic well-being. Consider the groundbreaking implications of a landmark study published in 2019 by Nagasaki University in Japan. This particular research stands out as one of the most frequently cited nocturia intervention studies in recent years, demonstrating compelling evidence. It unequivocally found that making targeted specific changes to the timing of fluid intake could astonishingly reduce nighttime urination episodes by a remarkable 40% in adults over the age of 65. Think about that figure, 40%. This profound improvement was achieved without the need for any medication, without invasive surgery, and without any expensive medical procedures. It was simply the result of cultivating a smarter, more informed, and biologically aligned relationship with water. Before we journey further into these transformative strategies, I want to pause and pose a personal question to you. How many times, on average, do you find yourself waking up each night compelled to use the bathroom? Please, share your honest number in the comments section below. And if you happen to be over the age of 60, I encourage you to explicitly mention that as well. Your individual experience is incredibly valuable. It contributes to a larger understanding, and you might be genuinely surprised to discover just how many other individuals are silently enduring the exact same challenges, searching for answers. Today, I am committed to guiding you through the 3 most powerful hydration habits, each ranked progressively from foundational principles to truly life-altering practices. By the time we unravel the final and most impactful habit, you will gain an understanding about your own bladder and your own body that most people unfortunately never manage to figure out throughout their entire lives. And let me assure you, the number 1 habit is not what you expect. In fact, it often stands in direct opposition to conventional advice you may have been given your entire life. Do not be tempted to skip ahead. The foundational knowledge in each step builds to the ultimate revelation. Let us begin our exploration with number 3. This initial habit is one that consistently surprises nearly every patient who walks into my clinic for the very first time, often challenging their preconceived notions about bodily functions. The fundamental truth is that your kidneys are far from being passive filters, merely processing whatever fluid passes through them. Instead, they are remarkably dynamic, rhythmic organs, exquisitely attuned to the body's circadian clock, actively altering their behavior based on the time of day. Throughout the daylight hours, when you are typically active and upright, your kidneys operate in full production mode, diligently filtering your blood at a rapid pace and producing urine at a high, steady rate. This is their natural design for daytime activity. However, as evening descends and your body gradually prepares itself for the restorative process of sleep, a crucial hormonal shift occurs. A hormone called vasopressin, also widely known as antidiuretic hormone, ADH, experiences a significant and measurable increase in concentration within your bloodstream. This elevated vasopressin acts as a vital signal, instructing your kidneys to substantially slow down their urine production, to concentrate the urine that is being made more effectively, and critically, to afford your bladder an essential opportunity to rest and store fluid overnight without constant interruptions. This elegant mechanism is a cornerstone of the body's natural design, ensuring uninterrupted sleep. The profound problem arises when this natural design is overwhelmed. If you consume a large volume of fluid, particularly within the critical 2 or 3 hours immediately preceding your bedtime, you effectively drown out and counteract that crucial vasopressin signal. In this scenario, your kidneys continue to produce urine at an accelerated rate, even as you attempt to drift into sleep, leading to your bladder filling up far more quickly than your brain's sleep-wake center can effectively suppress the urge to void. Consider a compelling 2020 study conducted by the University of Toronto, published in the esteemed Journal of Urology. This research meticulously examined 412 adults with thoroughly documented nocturia. The findings were unequivocal. Those participants who diligently implemented a structured fluid cutoff, abstaining from significant fluid intake 2 to 3 hours before bedtime, dramatically reduced their average nighttime voids from 2.8 trips per night to a mere 1.6, representing a remarkable 43% improvement in their sleep continuity and bladder control. These results were further corroborated by a separate, robust 2018 study from the MRI University Medical Center in the Netherlands, which independently confirmed these essential findings, demonstrating that consistent evening fluid restriction led to an impressive 38% reduction in nocturnal urine output volume among participants aged 60 and above. These are not isolated findings. They represent a consistent scientific consensus. I recall the case of Mahi, one of my own patients, a delightful 68-year-old retired schoolteacher from Ohio, who sought my help after suffering through 4 agonizing trips to the bathroom every single night. Her bedtime routine, like that of many, included drinking herbal tea, water, and juice right up until the very moment she turned off her bedside light. After we implemented a simple, yet profoundly effective 7:30 p.m. fluid cutoff time, carefully calibrated based on her 10:30 p.m. bedtime, she experienced a dramatic transformation. Within a mere 3 weeks, her nighttime voids had plummeted to just 1 per night. She tearfully recounted to me that she felt like she had truly gotten her life back, a testament to the life-altering impact of this seemingly minor adjustment. It is imperative to acknowledge that age plays a critically important and distinct role in this physiological process. After the age of 60, the natural secretion of vasopressin begins to decline measurably, a well-documented biological reality. Research published in 2017 by the University of Amsterdam conclusively found that adults over 65 produce up to 30% less vasopressin at night compared to adults in their 30s and 40s. This age-related reduction means that even a modest amount of evening fluid intake, perhaps just 2 or 3 glasses, can easily push an older individual's bladder past its comfortable storage threshold, whereas that exact same volume of fluid would have been handled effortlessly and without interruption in their younger years. This is not a disease or a pathology. It is simply a natural, albeit challenging, biological change that comes with aging. However, and this is the empowering message, it is a biological reality you can absolutely work with and adapt to. To implement this habit effectively, starting tonight, simply identify your target bedtime. From that time, count back a precise 2.5 hours. That exact moment represents your absolute last fluid intake opportunity for the day. If necessary, set a gentle phone reminder to prompt you. This final beverage should be small in volume, no more than 6 ounces, approximately 3/4 of a standard cup, and it is critically important that it contains absolutely no caffeine or alcohol. Both caffeine and alcohol are potent diuretics and interfere directly with vasopressin function, meaning they will significantly amplify your nighttime urine output regardless of the volume consumed, sabotaging your efforts. This habit, when consistently applied, pairs exceptionally powerfully with number 2 on our list, because number 2 precisely addresses what you drink, not just when you stop. What you've been putting into your body before that cutoff window may be silently and insidiously sabotaging all your best intentions. Coming up next, we will extensively discuss the hidden bladder irritants that most people consume every single day without the slightest realization that they are sending their bladder into a state of chronic overdrive. And surprisingly, one of them is likely sitting openly on your kitchen counter right now. Number 2 is where our exploration truly begins to get fascinating, because this habit isn't just about tweaking your routine. It fundamentally rewires your entire relationship with water, transforming it from a source of nocturnal disruption into a powerful ally for restful sleep. Most of the patients I encounter in my practice are not, in fact, drinking too much water overall. Quite to the contrary, many are actually living in a state of chronic mild dehydration. The core issue lies not in the total volume, but in the highly inefficient and physiologically backwards distribution of their daily fluid intake. They often consume very little water in the morning, a moderate amount around lunchtime, and then, in an ill-advised attempt to catch up on their hydration goals, they flood their system with large volumes of fluid throughout the afternoon, and particularly into the evening. This pattern introduces a deluge of fluid into their system precisely when their kidneys are naturally beginning to wind down and prepare for the night. This distribution pattern is not merely suboptimal, it is physiologically backwards and represents one of the primary, yet often unrecognized, drivers of nocturia in otherwise healthy adults. Let's meticulously unpack the physiological mechanism at play. Your kidneys are designed to process fluid most efficiently during the active, upright, and physiologically alert hours of the day. This optimal window typically spans from approximately 7:00 a.m. to 2:00 p.m. During this specific time frame, your body's intricate sodium regulation systems, your aldosterone hormone levels, which play a critical role in fluid and electrolyte balance, and your renal blood flow are all operating at their peak, perfectly optimized for high-volume fluid processing and excretion. If you consciously consume the bulk of your daily fluid intake, which for most healthy adults should comfortably fall somewhere between 1.5 and 2.5 liters, during this crucial morning and early afternoon window, your kidneys efficiently clear it from your system. Your bladder fills and empties normally and predictably throughout your active day, and by the time evening arrives, your body has already performed the lion's share of its fluid processing work. Consequently, the volume of fluid remaining in your bladder at bedtime is genuinely minimal, significantly reducing the likelihood of nighttime interruptions. Consider a robust 2021 clinical trial conducted at Seoul National University Hospital, with its findings published in the prestigious journal Neurology and Urodynamics. This study involved 320 nocturia patients, meticulously divided into 2 distinct groups. One was a control group, who were instructed to drink water without any specific timing guidance. The other was an intervention group, who were guided to consume a significant 70% of their total daily fluid intake before 2 p.m. After an observation period of 8 weeks, the intervention group reported a remarkable 47% reduction in nocturnal voids, illustrating the profound impact of front-loaded hydration. In stark contrast, the control group, without specific timing, saw only a modest 9% improvement. Further underscoring this principle, a 2019 study originating from Keio University School of Medicine in Tokyo demonstrated that this strategy of front-loaded hydration also led to a significant reduction in mean nocturnal urine volume by an impressive 35% in men aged 55 to 75. These studies are not isolated anecdotes. They represent a growing body of scientific evidence supporting this counterintuitive yet effective approach. I'd like to share the experience of Robert, a 71-year-old retired engineer who came to me after enduring 2 years of chronic sleep deprivation, waking up 3 to 4 times every single night. He was, understandably, convinced that his issues stemmed entirely from prostate trouble. While we did address some mild prostate enlargement that contributed to his symptoms, the real transformative revelation occurred when we meticulously tracked his drinking habits using a simple 48-hour fluid diary. The data clearly showed that Robert was consuming fewer than 400 milliliters of fluid before noon, a critically low amount, and then attempting to compensate by drinking almost a full liter between 6 and 9 p.m., directly opposing his body's natural rhythm. We systematically flipped his schedule: a large glass of water first thing in the morning, consistent moderate hydration steadily distributed throughout the day, and a firm, non-negotiable fluid cutoff at 7 p.m. Within an astonishing 6 weeks, Robert was averaging a single nighttime void, a dramatic improvement from his previous 3.5 trips. His sleep score, diligently tracked on his smartwatch, showed an impressive 28-point improvement, reflecting not just fewer bathroom trips, but a qualitative leap in his sleep health and overall well-being. For individuals over the age of 65, this front-loading hydration strategy becomes even more absolutely essential. As we gracefully age, our natural thirst sensation undergoes a measurable and well-documented weakening. This phenomenon was conclusively confirmed in a seminal 1992 study from the University of California, San Francisco, and has been meticulously replicated numerous times since. This physiological change means that older adults frequently underdrink during the morning hours, simply because they do not feel the familiar sensation of thirst. Consequently, they often overcompensate much later in the day when established habits or routine triggers prompt them to drink, inadvertently creating the very problem we are trying to solve. Breaking this counterproductive cycle of delayed hydration is arguably one of the most powerful and accessible actions you can take to fundamentally improve your sleep quality. Here is precisely how to start immediately tonight. Tomorrow morning, even before you reach for your coffee or check your phone, make it a non-negotiable ritual to drink a full 8-ounce glass of plain water. Then, aim to consume another 2 glasses before noon. If you need a gentle nudge, set a discreet phone alarm at 11 a.m. to remind you. After lunch, begin to taper off your fluid intake gradually. By 5 p.m., shift exclusively to sipping only, taking small amounts of fluid as needed rather than full glasses. This strategy costs you absolutely nothing. It requires no prescription, no special equipment, and no complex procedures. And critically, when you combine this intelligent front-loading approach with the fluid cutoff window discussed as habit number 3, you create a powerful, synergistic effect. Your kidneys receive the optimal volume of fluid they need to process early in the day, and then they receive the critical signal to rest that they require for a peaceful night. But here is the secret, the concept that almost no one discusses, and what I consider to be the single most important discovery in nocturia management over the last decade. Number 1 is not merely about when you drink or even how much you drink. It's about a profound physiological phenomenon occurring silently within your body while you sleep, a process you have almost certainly never given a second thought to. And here we are at the pinnacle. Number 1. I implore you to truly lean in and absorb this concept, because in my 24 years of dedicated practice, this is the single most transformative concept that has revolutionized outcomes for more patients than anything else I have ever implemented. And when I initially explain it to my patients, almost without exception, every single one of them gazes back at me with an expression of complete and utter surprise, a mixture of revelation and disbelief. The concept, stripped to its essence, is this. For a great many adults, particularly those over the age of 60, nighttime urination is not primarily a bladder problem at all. Instead, it is, in its fundamental nature, a fluid redistribution problem. Let me elaborate on the precise sequence of events. Throughout your waking hours, if your diet includes a moderate to high intake of sodium, which, according to the CDC, the average American diet absolutely does, with individuals taking in nearly 3,400 millimolars daily, far exceeding recommended limits, fluid tends to gradually accumulate in the tissues of your lower body. This accumulation is particularly pronounced in your legs and ankles. This condition is clinically referred to as peripheral edema, and it can often be subtle enough that you may not even consciously notice its presence during the day. However, the critical shift occurs when you lie down flat to sleep at night. With the change in body position, gravity no longer exerts its downward pull, holding that excess fluid within the tissues of your legs. Instead, that accumulated fluid begins to redistribute upwards throughout your body. It re-enters your circulatory system, travels efficiently to your kidneys, and is then filtered directly and rapidly into your bladder. This explains with striking clarity why so many individuals report feeling perfectly fine and empty their bladder right before going to bed, only to find themselves urgently needing the bathroom within a surprisingly short 60 to 90 minutes of falling asleep. Their bladder wasn't full from what they drank, it was full from fluid mobilized from their legs. A truly remarkable 2017 study, once again published in the Journal of Urology by pioneering researchers at Nagasaki University, stands as one of the most widely discussed nocturia papers in recent years. This study enrolled 321 participants and instructed them to implement a simple yet profound dietary change. They reduced their daily salt intake from an average of 10.7 grams down to a more moderate 8 grams. Even this seemingly modest reduction in sodium produced an impressive 25% decrease in nighttime voids, with participants transitioning from an average of 2.3 nightly bathroom trips to a significantly improved 1.7. A crucial follow-up study from the same esteemed institution, published in 2020, further amplified these findings. It demonstrated that combining this strategic salt reduction with a simple afternoon leg elevation technique yielded a combined 52% reduction in nocturnal urinary volume. This is a truly staggering outcome for such a simple, cost-free, and non-pharmacological intervention. This is precisely where the profound synergy with our earlier two habits becomes explosively effective. When you strategically front-load your hydration, consuming the majority of your water before 2 p.m., you inherently minimize your afternoon fluid intake. When you diligently reduce your dietary sodium, you significantly decrease the amount of fluid your body's tissues retain throughout the day. And when you combine both of these powerful strategies with a firm, consistent evening fluid cutoff, you send your kidneys into the night with very little residual work left to do. These three strategies, when implemented together, compound on each other in ways that no single intervention can ever hope to match, creating a truly holistic and powerful solution. Let me introduce you to Dorothy, a 76-year-old woman who had been suffering from chronic nocturia, waking up 4 to 5 times every single night for over 3 agonizing years. She had meticulously tried 2 different medications, undertaken extensive pelvic floor therapy, and yet nothing had provided her with sustained or meaningful relief. When she first came to me, I ordered a simple 24-hour urine collection and a detailed dietary recall. The results were highly indicative. Her sodium intake consistently exceeded 4,000 milligalls per day, well above recommended healthy levels. Even more tellingly, her nighttime urine output accounted for a staggering 68% of her total daily urine volume. This is a textbook, unequivocal sign of nocturnal polyuria, driven primarily by fluid redistribution, not simply an overactive bladder. We immediately implemented a sodium reduction plan, aiming for her intake to fall under 2,300 milliliters daily. We also incorporated a simple afternoon rest period where she would elevate her legs for 30 to 45 minutes and seamlessly combine these changes with the hydration strategies we've already discussed. Within a remarkable 8 weeks, Dorothy's nighttime voids plummeted to a manageable 1 to 2 per night. Her total nocturnal urine output fell by an impressive 44%. She was so overwhelmed with relief during our follow-up appointment that she wept, expressing profound gratitude for the return of her sleep and quality of life. After the age of 60, this fluid redistribution mechanism becomes dramatically more pronounced and impactful for 2 key physiological reasons. First, the venous walls in the legs, which are responsible for returning blood to the heart, tend to become less elastic with age. This reduced elasticity makes it considerably easier for fluid to pool and accumulate in the soft tissues of the lower limbs. Second, the heart's pumping efficiency, while often still adequate for daily life, can decrease slightly with age. This subtle reduction in efficiency means that less fluid is effectively returned from the legs to the central circulation during periods of daytime activity. Research from Johns Hopkins University, published in 2016, further confirmed these age-related vulnerabilities, showing that adults over 65 with even mild cardiovascular aging exhibit significantly higher rates of nocturnal polyuria, directly related to this positional fluid shift compared to their younger counterparts. Here is your clear, actionable plan, designed to start today. First, dedicate 1 week to honestly and meticulously tracking your salt intake. Read food labels diligently. The biggest, often hidden, sources of sodium are commonly found in everyday items such as bread, canned soups, processed deli meats, and the majority of restaurant meals. Your goal should be to get below 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day, and if you can consistently reach 1,500 milligrams, the benefits will be even greater. Second, if you tend to spend long periods sitting in the afternoon, whether at a desk, watching television, or engrossed in reading, make it a priority to elevate your legs for 30 to 45 minutes before dinner. A simple pillow placed under your calves works perfectly for this. This straightforward positional shift allows your circulatory system to efficiently return that pooled fluid from your legs back into your bloodstream and to your kidneys while you are still awake and upright. This critical timing ensures that your bladder handles the extra fluid during your waking hours, rather than forcing you awake at 2 a.m. Third, and this is the unifying principle that ties everything together, combine this sodium reduction and afternoon leg elevation strategy with your morning front-loaded hydration habit and your firm evening fluid cutoff. This trio of strategies functions as one unified, synergistic system, and the results for patients who implement all 3 consistently and diligently are truly remarkable and life-changing. Now, let's bring all these powerful insights together and distill them into a clear, concise action plan. Number 3, establish your fluid cutoff 2 to 3 hours before your target bedtime. This crucial buffer time allows your kidneys the necessary period to naturally wind down alongside the rest of your body. And if you are over the age of 60, your vasopressin system requires this buffer even more urgently and profoundly than it did during your younger years. Number 2, front-load your hydration. Make a conscious effort to drink the vast majority of your daily water before 2 p.m. This is the optimal window when your kidneys are physiologically primed and operating at their peak efficiency to process fluid, allowing your bladder to perform its job effectively and conveniently during normal waking hours. And finally, number 1, the habit that truly changes everything. Proactively reduce your dietary sodium intake and consistently elevate your legs in the afternoon. This dual strategy is your most potent defense against that silent, invisible flood of fluid that stealthily migrates from your legs to your bladder the very moment you lie down at night, disrupting your sleep. Here is what I want you to hear most clearly and internalize: improving your sleep. Significantly enhancing your bladder health and reclaiming your nighttime comfort is absolutely, unequivocally possible at any age. These are not exclusive cures, reserved only for the young or those without age-related changes. On the contrary, these are robust biology-backed strategies that work precisely because they harmonize with your aging body rather than attempting to fight against its natural physiological changes. Now, I genuinely want to know, which of these three powerful strategies will you commit to starting first? And what is the single biggest challenge you face when it comes to waking up at night? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments section below. I personally read every single comment, and your question or shared experience might very well become the central subject of my next video, as I am dedicated to addressing the most pressing concerns of my audience. If this information has been helpful and insightful for you, please take a moment to hit the like button right now. This simple action tells YouTube that this vital information is reaching the people who need it most. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on what's coming next. And please share this video with someone you care about who is currently losing precious sleep due to these very issues. Your body is not broken. It is simply waiting for the right information and the right strategies. And now you have it.